Web pages have a lot of headings. These are usually headings and subheadings. These headings help in understand what's on the page and which paragraph belongs to which section. On pages like search pages, archives, these headings are the content. These headings are linked to the main page when the main article about the heading is written. For example, if you go to primeinspire.com and search for HTML, you get a list of headings, and these are clickable. You can click and reach the desired page. Let's look at an example on how to write these headings. There isn't just one heading tag. There are 6 actually. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Let's see how they look in real time. In our VS Code, we'll create a new file and we'll call this as 02 heading tags.html. And let's close the previous one. And let's write these headings. So I'm going to type in H1, and inside this, I'm going to call this as heading 1. And to duplicate this, what you can do is you can use Alt and Shift, and then hit the down arrow button. That's going to duplicate that. I'm going to call this as H2. And you can do the multi-line editing by holding the Alt key. So I'll change this to H2. Let's duplicate this. So to duplicate, all we have to do is Alt, Shift, and the down button. So it's duplicated. Now I can click over here and we'll call this as H3. Let's hold the Alt, Shift key again. Then we get the next line. So just click here. I'm going to call this as H4 and do the same for the next one. So there's going to be H5. And let's do that again. And for this one, we'll call this as H6. Let's save that. Now, I know this is a bit confusing because we used a lot of shortcut keys, but there's an easier way to do this with the help of Emmet. Let me show you how that works. So for this, what you have to do is you have to write a Emmet function or a Emmet syntax, which actually creates this for you. For example, we'll say heading, and then we specify the dollar here. So basically the dollar is the number which you will specify. So inside this, what we'll do is, beside this, we're going to add this flower braces. I'm going to call this as heading. So this will be the text. And then I'm going to give a space, say dollar again. So this will be the number which will be applying. So how many of them do we want? We want around 6 of them. Okay. Now when you hit the tab key, you can see that the Emmet wrote that for us. This will generate 6 headings with normal text. Okay, now that we have all the 6 headings, let's see how that looks in the browser. For that, let's save this file and right click here. I'm going to copy path and let's go to our browser. Then I'm going to open a new tab and paste that over here and hit enter. Here you can see that H1 is the biggest element and shows the prominent and loudness. And H6 is the smallest and is the most sub heading. All the other headings come somewhere in between them. This is very simple to understand. Choose the right heading to mark up your content. Let's look at a live example. Let's go to primeinspire.com and then you can click on this blog section over here. And inside this blog section, let's open up an article. For example, I'm going to open up this one. Here, right click on the page and choose inspect. This will open up the inspect element tool in your browser. Now you can see that we can see all the source code of this page. Now let's right click on the main heading and we click on inspect. Now you can see this is the H1 tag, which is basically the main heading of this page. Now you can see that we have a small text here which shows a small description of the page. If I right click here and if I click on inspect, you can see that's the H2 tag. The same way, you can actually choose to have H1 as your main heading and H2 as your subheading. Now, all the way throughout the content, you can use H3 to H6 whenever and however you want it. But what you have to remember is that we have to choose headings based on what they mean and not on how they look. This is very helpful in accessibility when someone is using screen reader to read your content. There are many design systems like Bootstrap and Material Design. These design systems already have styles, and with these styles, you can make your headings look however you like.